Hi, welcome to the Rappler recap of Miss Universe 2022. I'm entertainment editor for Rappler, Margie De Leon, and here with me are my fellow entertainment reporters, my teammates, Isa Abad and Amanda Lago. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
So, we have a lot to unpack. The pageant just ended mga 30 minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
So, first things first, sino nanalo? Si R. Bonnie
R.
Gabriel. So, R. Bonnie Gabriel of the United States was named Miss Universe 2022. The pageant was held at New Orleans, Louisiana in the USA. And she bested 83 candidates to win the title. And I guess the thing that people here in the Philippines most latched on to about R. Bonnie is that she is half Filipina.
Pinoy pride.
Yeah. Pangalan naman niya R. Bonnie. Halata naman.
I mean, if you think about it, she's, like in terms of ethnicity, as Filipino as like Pia or Catriona.
Yeah.
Pero parang important talaga kung ano yung pinili mong sash na isuot.
Yeah. To be fair, like when you see her, like she really looks Pinay talaga. Ayun. So, she was also quite controversial.
Yeah.
I mean, before she won, and sa Miss USA pageant, 'di ba parang may rumors that na pang luto. Can you fill me in on that?
As far as I know, medyo sinuspend pa nga yung organizers ng Miss USA that time eh. Kasi parang yung ibang mga nakalaban ni Arboni was like, Arboni? Tama ba?
Bonnie?
Na nagrereklamo that the organizers already have like a predetermined winner na parang yun nga, parang obvious daw during the pageant na they were favoring her, ganon. Pero I'm not sure lang what happened to the, kung ano nangyari dun sa investigation nila. Pero the last time that we checked was like, sinuspend nga yung organizer. Pero at
And
that
she's
time,
still there, yeah.
At that time naman, Arboni was saying na, wala naman, she doesn't know anything about it. I mean, di ba, parang hindi niya naman, wala naman daw siyang alam in terms of like predetermined still. And since nandun naman siya sa Miss Universe pageant, di ba? So parang I think it proved naman na dun sa doubters niya that she really had what it takes. naman.
Yeah.
And it was
parang-
obvious in her performance, yeah.
Yeah. Parang in my opinion, parang luto man yan or hindi. Like she delivered naman.
Yeah.
But let's get back to that a little later. We have to address the gigantic Italian-Filipino elephant in the room. So,
Wild.
yung manok natin, si Celeste Cortesi, is unfortunately, she didn't even get into the semifinals, to the top 16. So, as expected, a lot of Filipinos are blowing up Twitter with their rage and disappointment and many theories. I have to put a disclaimer here that what we're gonna say is purely speculation. Number one, you're not pageant experts. And number two, parang, yun nga, parang it's all speculative, diba? Parang unless you
never
talk
know.
directly to the judges and see the diba, the documentation, parang we really won't be able to know. So, do either of you think that she should have gotten to the top 16?
Yeah.
Bakit?
Yeah. Kasi Filipino.
Kasi may streak.
Kasi may streak.
May
May 13 years. 13 years.
12,
Ay, hindi,
12.
12 pala.
12-year streak. That's
Ay,
a
shit.
long
Malas
streak.
yung 13
Yeah,
years.
oo. That's a long streak. Where did the streak start?
Venus.
Say Venus
Si
Ra.
Maria Venus Ra.
And then it ended with Catriona. With
Bea.
sorry. Ayun. So, it's hard to talk about it.
Yeah, kasi I mean, as Margie mentioned, hindi naman talaga tayo pageant experts. But like, since we were monitoring the whole thing, we were obviously aware that Celeste was considered to be one of the front runners. Like, even like the other pageant, pages are saying na dapat sana top 5. Like, she will be included in the top 5. Tapos parang, I think that's what everyone was expecting. Kaya nga di ba, when the top 16 were slowly being announced, medyo nagulat tayo kasi like, ang dami ring pageant powerhouses. Like, even Thailand didn't make
Right.
it. Like, considering na parang, isa yun sa parang, di ba, parang yung representatives na Thailand and Philippines were like, sa social media na parang it's either one or the other.
Oo, nag-aaway na sila.
So parang medyo naramdaman mo na yun na what's
Wait lang,
happening.
oo.
Tapos parang we were joking around since yung 16th candidate raw yung magiging, di ba parang it's like the highest fan vote. So parang sabi natin, if hindi man siya makapasok sa top 15, kaya ng Pilipinas na parang isa siya sa mga
I-wildcard.
Kaya idaan sa fan vote.
Pero ayun, parang I think everyone's really surprised.
Medyo
Yung hindi
shocking.
siya tinawag.
Oo.
I mean, we've been covering pageants for how many years? Tapos parang always, parang yung trabaho natin medyo tumatagal until like, I mean, syempre tatapusin natin yung pageant. But like, yung bantay natin sa Philippine winner.
Has
Medyo,
always,
it wasn't-
towards the end pala.
Yeah.
Oo.
So like, I wasn't expecting her to win, TBH. But at hindi man
least sa
lang,
semifinals.
hindi man lang nag-semifinals. Medyo shocking.
Oo, I also expected her to get to at least like top 10-ish, ganon. Kasi, I mean, she really is, like, it's impossible to not stare at her kasi
Yeah.
she's physically
Very,
very attractive. But I have to admit, and here is where we start getting into our
Speculation.
and our speculations.
Disclaimer.
Is that she didn't, for me, have that much of a personality outside of her looks.
Yeah.
So, and then it also happens that Miss Universe is now under new management. It's now under, well, we'll get into the new management later, pero this new management is, parang they're trying for a more progressive bent. So it seems that just being pretty,
It's not gonna cut
it's not gonna cut it. So, ano yung mga theories nyo din regarding this?
I mean, I'm just reading like Twitter theories,
Yeah.
and like they're saying na under Miss Universe Philippines, which is the new org, I mean for the past 3 candidates, handling Miss Universe candidates. Parang, diba, I feel like Celeste's lack of personality and her parang confusing advocacy might not even be her problem. Baka parang masyadong sinisiksik ng MUPH into one mold yung mga queens. Yun nga, may nabasa tayong Twitter thread kanina na parang hindi nila masyadong hina-highlight yung what makes the queen unique. They're
Which
just,
in this case daw is her hubadera.
Oo nga eh.
Pagiging hubadera niya.
which could have been like amazing to see.
I guess, oo.
Exciting. I mean, ewan ko, at least something.
But at least may personality.
Yeah,
Oo.
parang at least stand out siya. Ewan ko, baka masyadong, maybe it's the direction from the MUPH team na masyado nilang tinatanggal yung quirks ng candidates.
Yeah. Ikaw, Isa.
That too. Kasi parang, wala, I mean, di ba, many are saying na tama na raw yung, they were using the phrase na yung when to peak. Na parang, I think they were referring to Pia na, Pia really like bloomed during the coronation night. Parang hindi siya, parang, I mean,
Parang slow burn.
Oo, slow burn, yeah. But that didn't translate to Celeste, I think. Kasi, I mean, obviously, hindi siya nakapasok sa top 16. So, wala na tayo enough time to like see her shine. So, I guess, sayang sana kasi considering like, I mean, nakakapagod i-compare kay Catriona. Pero like, di ba, sobrang like, even like her preliminary performance, talagang pasabog na siya. Ayun lang, I think, paano pa? I mean, ayun lang, like, in terms of, kasi since we were listening to the other, yung mga nakapasok na advocacy, sometimes yun, hahanapin mo rin talaga yun kay Celeste. Like, hindi siya yung katulad kila Pia at Catriona na parang alam mo agad kung anong pinaglalaban niya. So, yeah, sayang lang, I think, na parang if our representative was given more, I don't know, parang more depth. Ganon. Sayang. Sayang,
Yeah,
I think.
true.
Oo. Like, di ba parang, supposedly her advocacy is like mental health, pero hindi masyadong nakuha yun from
Yeah.
from what we have seen of her publicly.
Like, she wasn't as outspoken about it.
Yeah,
As
oo.
the previous winners
Oo.
were in their time.
Tapos, speaking about outspoken, parang, she doesn't strike me as someone who speaks that well. Honestly. Parang even during her, what do you call this, Miss Universe Philippines,
Yeah.
parang she didn't really strike me as a good speaker. Like, we were talking earlier about yung Q&A segment niya and parang everybody's else's answers were fairly substantial. Tapos sa kanya parang ano yun, parang I want to see my family.
Oo.
Ganon.
I mean, which could have been interesting if she's
Well articulated.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it could have been better articulated. Pero parang she really does seem to have a problem with speaking.
Communication.
And I would have hoped that they honed that better in
Yeah.
the months following that, leading up to Miss Universe. Pero it didn't seem to be the case.
Yeah.
So when parang so for me personally, I felt that she would get into the tops, but I was actually confident that she wouldn't
Would
win.
win, yeah.
Kasi parang wala talaga akong nakitang any proof na she can answer a question well.
Yeah, same.
Ayun.
Tapos parang for me lang, bakit, like we know that Miss Universe is becoming more and more progressive every year. I mean, the questions pa lang na binibigay nila sa queens, di ba? Parang getting real, social issues and everything. They talk about all that shit now. Tapos parang, bakit hindi siya tinrain more, knowing na hindi na papasa yung ganda lang.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a modeling competition anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ewan
I
ko.
think that's what also what we noticed when Celeste didn't make it to the semifinals. Like, a lot of like Filipinos were starting to parang clamor na baka it's time for us to like, it's time for the Miss Universe Philippines to like rebrand like how we package our representatives. Lalo na ngayon na wala na tayong inaalagaan na streak, di ba? It's like a fresh start. Na parang it's time to experiment. It's time to like take risks. So parang I think hopefully this would be like something like a lesson learned for the, I don't know, organization.
Yeah.
Na parang let's be more, I don't know, parang
Exciting.
bago.
Yeah.
or
Progressive.
oo.
And we actually have everything on our side.
Yeah.
Kasi parang
We're people of color.
Oh, exactly. And I mean, we come from the kind of background na sobrang rich. Like we have a lot of possible advocacies for...
Marami tayong problema.
Oh, marami tayong problema basically. And not just problems, pero marami tayong communities that we
Yeah.
can champion. Alam mo yon. So, speaking of yung communities to champion, like isang ninitpick din ng mga tao kanina sa social media was yung cape niya for the swimsuit edition. So her cape, kasi kailangan nilang i-design yun. So ang design niya was using yung handprints ng mga children from Marawi, which is a really great pang advocacy. Pero I guess it just wasn't communicated then well
Yeah.
enough. Ganon.
Or parang, okay, handprints. I mean,
yeah,
you
parang-
could have done something more.
Oo. Considering that we have such good artists
Yeah,
here in the country.
exactly. And it's
Oo.
freaking Miss Universe.
Oo.
Yeah, tsaka parang that was I think the first time that I heard that like she was involved with the Marawi
Yun nga
children.
eh,
So parang, I mean,
Oo. Parang, are you fair
comparing-
pala? Oo, ganon.
na parang, that's one of your advocacies. Parang di ba, parang
Oo.
biglaan, gulat ka na lang. I mean, ayokong ulit-ulit na tayo. Pero like, comparing mo kila Catriona at Pia, I think that's one of the phrase that I saw on Twitter. Kasi lubog talaga sila sa communities na sinashampion
Yeah.
nila. So parang, we didn't see
Genuine.
that much. Yeah.
Oo.
Oo, yeah. Like, we'll get to that. Yung mga sagot nila later. Tapos, yung Darna costume din was another point of contention.
Yeah.
Like, she looked nice in it, I guess. Pero alam mo yun, parang some people were saying na it's too niche. Like,
Yeah.
hindi, parang people won't really understand what that is all about, di ba?
Yeah.
Tsaka, di ba, I mean, Dorna's been
Done?
like a pop culture icon since forever. Ano lang ba yun? Dahil may ABS-CBN.
Yun nga
Kaya
eh.
bigla siyang-
oo,
Is she an
yeah.
ABS-CBN talent?
Baka
may ganun. May ganun.
Oo nga, gumana nga. This is all speculation. Okay?
Don't come
Oo,
for us.
Don't come for us.
Hindi, pero like, I mean, just on her national costume, like comparing, again, I'm sorry to compare like Pia, Catriona, pero sila kasi yung bench, I mean, sila yung nanalo eh.
Recent,
They
yeah.
were good.
Yeah.
What can we say?
I mean,
Oo,
Catriona
yeah.
is like, as a Catriona fan. Grabe yung nat cost niya. I mean, it's in a freaking museum now, isn't it? Or something like that. Kasi sobrang the thought process, although a lot of people didn't like it. Pero yung thought process niya, yung every detail meant something. And
True, like, di ba, I mean, it's been years, pero we still remember, di ba, I can't, hindi siya fully detailed, pero remember na meron siyang, like, from Luzon, from
Oo,
this something,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, that
Tapos
was,
nag-field work si
Oo,
girl to research. She went to these communities all over the Philippines. Parang talagang titrabaho niya yung nat cost niya. So parang Darna, totoo ba? Like,
Oo. Parang, yeah, you just look hot in it. Alam mo
yeah,
yun?
exactly. Baka yun na yung hubadera.
Yeah. So, we unfortunately don't have our resident pageant expert here, Jairo. But he did send us his notes. So I will relay them to you because they are very, what do you call this? Valuable.
Reliable.
Yes, oo. So, yun nga, parang one of his guesses is dahil nga sa new owner kasi apparently yung during the IMG era which was under former President Donald Trump, they really loved us. Like Trump apparently loved the Philippines a lot. I mean, specifically. So that's creepy, but that's Tapos, performance-wise, he was confident that we would have done well in evening gown and swimsuit. And yes, I agree. Again, parang she really has that model-esque thing going for her. Pero yun nga, baka daw, like, this is the speculation that everyone has been saying na it might be because of the closed-door Q&A during the preliminaries na nahirapan daw siya. Tapos napansin din niya na this year, hindi talaga kasama, yun nga, yung mga Asian powerhouses like Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, and us. And then, ayun, parang feeling lang talaga niya in general na mukhang hindi naman talaga siya favored. So, ayun. Tapos yun nga, isa sa mga funny comments ng mga tao is, dahil daw sa BBM presidency. Yeah. Dami ganun. Of course, you always have to mix politics in with these things. Ayun. So, let's get into speaking of the new era of Miss Universe. So, Miss Universe is now, very interestingly, owned by Anne Jakrajutatip, who is a trans woman billionaire from Thailand. And she got her riches from a lot of businesses, parang media, and then my health and beauty. Basta parang every woman, businesswoman siya. And it was very interesting to see her do her speech on stage, diba? So, to do a quick recap, parang sabi niya, time is up. Welcome to the new era of the global women's empowerment platform. From now on, it's going to be run by women, owned by a trans woman, for all women. Ayun. So, how do you feel about Anne Jakrajutatip?
Wow.
Love her energy. Gusto ko yung paglabas niya sa stage.
She's like, yeah, you. Ayun.
Diba, parang I feel, kasi even before, I've started covering pageants only when diba,
Got into Rappler.
I think one of the things that really surprised me was all this time it wasn't owned by a woman. Parang, diba, parang, bakit? Diba?
Yeah.
I think that's what also resonated with her speech na parang, it's about time. And it was really obvious, talagang from the hosts, from the all-female selection, talagang, champion nila na it's female power, which is really interesting. Lalo na after this edition, there's a lot of changes coming into the Miss Universe. So, wala, ang gala.
Tsaka hindi, parang the fact that she owns it now, parang hindi na siya male gaze type of thing, It's you know how pageant haters are always objectification of women, blah, blah, blah. But to an extent.
It still is.
But it still definitely is.
It's called a beauty pageant.
Yeah, but at least it's not the men doing it anymore.
Yeah.
If that's any consolation.
Baby steps.
Yeah, and then parang the fact that, ayun nga, they're opening it up to mothers and wives, and if matupad yung hiling ni Miss USA to older women, edi parang wala lang. It's going in a nicer direction.
It's they're trying to work on it from the inside.
Yeah.
Parang ganun. So, I'm very, very interested to see what will happen. Parang, I don't know, parang feeling ko in the future, it's just going to be puro advocacy work and Q&A na lang talaga, diba? Ayun. Parang I can see the evening gown and swimsuit not really
being a highlight. Anymore.
I mean, even during this show, parang it was just okay, nandun lang sila. Alam mo yun, parang it wasn't a highlight for me.
Yeah.
Ayun. Anyway, so let's move on to so when si Anne went on stage to introduce herself, she also did the Impact Wave Award, which she gave to Thailand. So why is Thailand such a favorite, even though she didn't get in to the top 16?
I think it's because of her story. Di ba parang everyone's championing na her dad ata is a garbage collector. Tapos that was also the inspiration behind her preliminary evening gown na parang mga tansa yung bottle, diba? So, ayun, sayang lang, I think, kasi hindi rin nakapasok sa top 16 sa Thailand. So, we don't know her performance. Pero ayun, she was one of the crowd favorites too.
Yeah.
Kasama yung Celeste.
pag kinakabahan nga ako when I'd see like yung mga video packages ng bawat contestant. Tapos sobrang interesting ng mga backstories nila and whatever. Kasi isip ko, oh my God, ano yung video package ni, ni Celeste? Parang, I came from Italy. I mean, I don't want to put the blame on her at all. Kasi, I mean, she's just doing this. And alam mo yun, parang every person has a rich background and it just wasn't communicated properly.
Parang I'm sure she has like an interesting story. But we don't know it.
Oo.
I wish pinlay up nila yun.
Yeah. Ayun. And it might just be as simple as language, as in she isn't that well spoken in either Filipino or English. So alam mo yun, parang it might just be really a language thing. Like what if she spoke in her native Italian, she might have like been completely blowing us over and whatever. Ayun.
Sobrang trippy no, kung like Miss Philippines siya.
Tapos bigla ka.
Pero sa Q&A yung sagot niya in Italian.
Italian labo. Ayun. So speaking of language, actually, let's go to the Q&As. And one of the things, let's recap. Yung top 5, sino ulit yung top 5? Venezuela, Curaçao, Dominican, USA, and sino yung last one?
What are we?
Top 5. Who's sila? Puerto Rico, ayun. So, it's so interesting na dun sa Q&A for the top 5, lahat sila sumagot in English.
In English.
Which is so rare, di ba? Usually when it's the Latinas,
May translator.
may translator. And in this case, if there ever was a translator, it was only for the questions, pero they answered in straight English. And for all intents and purposes, they answered well. I mean, dire-diretso. Ayun. So, what is it about? Parang, is this a change in their tactic?
Baka nga eh. Like, yun nga. And they mentioned it earlier, the hosts, nung Q&A, parang Miss Universe is looking for someone who can communicate well or something like that. So I guess it's really part of the whole thing, rebranding na kailangan articulate ka. And it's sad that it has to be in English. But like, yun nga.
Medyo gets.
Yeah, I mean, universal language and all
Yeah,
that.
I think everyone's saying na parang diba, I mean, we've been using the phrase over and over again. Hindi na siya ganda lang. I think the pageant is looking for like a spokesperson na talaga. That's why everyone's looking for that. Ayun. Wala lang. Parang ang interesting lang kasi oh my God, yung train of thought ko na.
It's okay. I'll step in kasi
Interesting.
yung pinaka-gusto kong answer was from Arboni, the winner ultimately. Dun sa top 5 Q&A kasi so her question was, Miss Universe recently made an inclusive change allowing mothers and married women to compete this year. So what's another change that you want to happen? So sabi niya na she's 28 years old and is technically parang the oldest age to compete at the time. So she wants na itaas yung age limit. So, sabi niya, my favorite quote is, if not now, then when? As a woman, I believe age does not define us. It's not tomorrow, it's not yesterday, but it's now. So, wala lang. Parang she's very well-spoken. Well, we expect Miss USA to be well-spoken. Parang that's the thing. Ayun.
I wonder lang if English nga yung being well-versed in English is an advantage. Parang, yeah, I get it. But also like, ang dami kasing Pilipina siguro na magaling. And it's always been a thing with us, right? Na they falter because they try to answer in English. Pero kung tinagalog lang nila, ang ganda sana nung sagot nila. So parang ngayon, mas mapipilitan mag-English yung mga candidates na they probably are amazing and articulate in whatever language they speak. But ayun nga, it's kind of sad and maybe a little minus points sa pagiging progressive ng Miss Universe, but like it's understandable then in a way.
There were jokes nga sa Twitter na parang, oh no, parang, so yung question for Miss Curaçao was, if you had the opportunity to speak with the leader of your country, what would you want to discuss? Tapos may mga tao nag-joke sa Twitter na parang, oh my God, paano to sasagutin ni Celeste? Considering na, yun nga, parang it's kind of tricky to talk about it. Thus, me, in my personal opinion, like, since she hasn't been in the Philippines for that long, she didn't grow up here.
Yeah.
Diba? So parang how can she say, parang I feel like hindi magiging genuine yung sagot niya.
True.
Diba? Ayun.
Ay, tapos interesting kasi yung question was asked by the Filipino.
Yeah, by the
So, parang,
Filipino.
ibalik kaya natin yung tanong.
Oo nga.
Kayo po, ano ba sasabihin niya?
Well, she had very fluffy pink. I remember yung outfit niya eh. Parang I think she's fine. Ayun. So, yun, parang the fact that parang I don't trust that Celeste can be able to speak up for most Filipinos is
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
troubles me. And it's not a point against her as a person. Parang it's just the way she is, di ba? Parang, so,
Parang yung thing lang, and I think nung Miss Universe Philippines pa lang, it was my sort of frustration. It's like, why did they choose someone who's not, I mean, she's half Italian, half Filipino. But she grew up in Italy. So parang, like, I mean, Catriona grew up in Australia, but she did her, si Catriona naman.
pero dito siya tumanda.
I mean, she came here as a teenager,
Oo, as a
and like, she
teenager.
did her research.
Yeah,
And Pia too, di ba? Parang mas
Oo.
matagal siya sa
Si Pia
Pilipinas.
dito lumaki
before,
talaga.
before.
Si Celeste parang just a few years ago lang,
Oo.
diba? So parang,
Parang
that doesn't
Pilipinas
count.
tayo.
I'm
like,
sorry. Oh.
And if man siya yung nanalo na ganun yung background niya, sana they did more research or like, you know, like yung cultural
Oo.
nuances sana.
Ng
Hindi
mga
ko alam.
half Pinoy, half
Oo. Like, I
Yeah.
wanna, as a Filipina, I wanna be represented by
Yeah.
a Filipina.
I mean, it's a national
Exactly.
nations are competing here.
yeah.
Ayun. So, ayun, speaking of the Latinas, the next Miss Universe next year is going to be, this year ba? Tama ba?
December, if
In December.
babalik na lang.
Oo. Kasi I'm so
Oo,
confused na 2022 siya pero
Pero
2023 na. Ayun. So it's going to be in El Salvador in South America. So, yun nga, parang may mga theory yung mga tao na it's going back to the old style winners na puro mga Latina and USA and parang India, di ba? India was also in the top 16.
Yeah.
Ayun, parang it's harkening back to an old, what do you call this? Old favorites. But, I don't know, it just
Tapos na
might be.
yung Asian
Pero sana hindi naman
supremacy.
tayo abutin ng ilang
Oo
decades
nga.
bago mag-placement ulit. I don't think so. Kung may changes, right?
Oo. Kailangan lang galingan ng...
I mean, I think that's what I'm really most excited about with the coming 2023 edition. Like, they're starting already with the application, which will gonna end at February 5, if I remember correctly.
Sumali na
Oo.
kayo.
Kung gusto niyo pala palitan si Celeste,
Oo.
sumali na po kayo.
Now is the
Oo.
time.
If you can
Kasi,
speak fluent.
Kasi diba, ang interesting no, paano if like, ano siya, divorced, I mean, wala naman divorce, pero like, naging
Single mom. Oo,
wife.
that'd be awesome.
Diba, that's a different conversation. That's a different advocacy and side. So, ayun, I'm excited for the 23, yung real 2023
Yeah,
edition.
not the fake one.
That's also like if our candidate, if Miss Universe Philippines follows the same progression of the international pageant.
Oo, yeah. Parang, this is a wake-up call talaga. Parang
Like,
they really
it's
have to step it up. Okay, so let's get na to the final three. So yung final three is the Dominican Republic, USA, and Venezuela. Ako personally, for Dominican Republic talaga ako. Because when it got to the final question, I think she was the one who said it best. So the final question was shared among the three of them, and it was, if you win Miss Universe, how would you work to demonstrate this as an empowering and progressive organization? I like that question kasi it's so open, pero it clearly shows kung ano yung values, like kung anong lalabas na values ng tao. So sabi ni Dominican Republic, na I've been working for women's rights for as long as I can remember. It's been my action to every single day. I'm here to demonstrate this. It doesn't matter where you come from, your background does not define you, blah, blah, blah. Ayun. So, parang, ano siya, we were talking earlier, Amanda, about how she's very gung-ho.
Yung vibe niya,
Oh,
talagang...
yung vibe niya is very parang this is me.
Here for this.
Oh,
Like, pwede siya maging lawyer. ganun.
Oo, yeah. May ganun siyang vibe. Kayo, what did you guys think of the top three?
Parang hindi. Kasi for me, I was rooting for her then. Kasi parang out of the three answers, parang siya yung feeling ko parang spontaneous. So parang, ito yun eh. Like, ito yung gusto kong sabihin. Like, parang hindi siya medyo prepared. I mean, parang medyo yun yung vibe na nakuha ko with the other two na parang may parts doon
May
na
baon
parang,
sila.
oo, may baon na sila. Pero I didn't see that with the Dominican Republic. So medyo nagulat ako na second runner-up lang. I mean, if hindi siya nag-crown, sana first runner-up. Like, parang, yung sa Venezuela, parang, I was thinking na baka siya yung mag-second runner-up. Kasi parang feeling ko nadala lang tayo dun sa, I'm a fashion designer and dreamer.
Designer of dreams.
I'm a fashion designer
Parang
by
like,
profession, but I'm a designer of dreams.
Sobrang baon yun.
Parang prepared na kasi yun. Parang may ipapasok niya yan, whatever the question would be. Pero yung parang answer niya before that, walang masyadong masyadong personal experience.
Parang very, textbook, pageant, answer, ganyan. I mean, I liked USA's answer, pero feeling ko she went off on a tangent. Wait, reel it in, girl, reel it in. Pero magaling din siya, like yung transformational leader.
Yeah, Parang yung kay Arbonne, talagang I will sell myself to the best of my abilities. So,
Parang job interview answer.
correct, yeah. To recap for those who weren't able to see, parang sabi niya, I've been sewing for 13 years. I use fashion as a force for good. In my industry, I'm cutting down on pollution through recycling materials. I teach sewing classes to women that have survived human trafficking and domestic violence. So parang, okay, ikaw na, alam mo yun. Parang, and to be fair, like I like that because it's very clear naman what she's trying to convey. Pero yun nga, it struck me then as a little templated. Na parang, she was going to fit that answer in no matter what question. Ayun. So she won. It was down to her and grabe when second runner up si Miss Dominican Republic, which like shocked the pants off all of us. But yeah, I don't know why anymore. I'm tired of thinking. So it was down to Arbonne and Miss Venezuela, and yun. So Arbonne Gabriel is now our Miss Universe 2022. She is Phil-Am, and we will not stop reminding people about that.
Bigyan nyo na.
Oo. Ay, siya pa naman yung first, the first Phil-Am beauty queen to like win Miss USA and
Miss Universe.
Yeah.
Tapos,
Pero Pride pa rin.
may Pinoy pride pa yan. Tapos trivia from our teammate Chairo. So she's also the latest winner to wear a black gown, which I also, na-notice ko din yun. So the last was Rio Mio of Japan in 2007. And then she's also the 9th American woman to win. Yun. So, yan. Congrats, America, I guess.
Congrats din dahil sa kanila si Olivia Culpo na.
Oo. Ay, speaking of Olivia Culpo, parang good job, girl. Like,
Bumawi ka.
gumana yung Red Bull mo. Oo.
Tsaka, I mean, USA pa rin yung may pinakamadaming winnings.
Yeah.
Talaga?
Yeah, it's 9. Tapos followed by Venezuela na first runner-up naman.
Okay.
Okay.
Kayo na.
Hashtag okay.
Kaya I was rooting for the Dominican Republic kasi siya sana yung magiging second.
Oo nga. Wala pa silang, isa pa lang.
Parang 2003 pa raw yung una and only. So yeah, sayang.
Okay. Yeah, I was rooting then for Dominican Republic because her people have also been oppressed. So they've also had dictatorial leaders. So wala lang. Ayun, so that ends our recap of the Miss Universe 2022 pageant. I'm sure all of you have a lot of thoughts and feelings to share with us. So please do drop them in the comment section of our social media accounts. So thank you, Amanda and Isa, my teammates, for being here at the office with me to cover this. And so hi, I'm Marguerite De Leon, and thank you for watching, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for that.